The Enduroman Arch to Arc is a run from Marble Arch to Dover, 87 mile, swim across the channel. When we get to the other side in France, it's a cycle to the Arc de Triomphe in Paris. The ultimate triathlon. The most important thing is the clock doesn't stop. So when we start in Marble Arch, the clock starts. Whatever happens, the clock doesn't stop till we get to the Arc de Triomphe. The record's 80 hours. With the timescales I've worked out, I hope that it's very achievable to break the record.
We're 5 hours in, across the M25 now, and going about as expected. Being on the pavement the whole time, which is not something I usually train on, is quite hard on my legs. I'm not racing down there, I'm sticking to plan, which is always a difficult thing to do. There's a diversion at Brands Hatch because of the Paralympic cycling events that are on, so I can go straight down the main road, and the support vehicles have got to drive around.
I'm number one and I still hold the record. I'm hoping that by now he'll beat it. We'll see, we'll see.
No, thank you. I've got to keep off sugar for the time being.
Mark's a big heavy fella, a big strong lad, and I mean swimming is his main strength. And I think he's going to start to break down relatively quickly on the run. And I think that's why he's approaching it so sensibly at the moment. There's no getting away from the fact he's having to carry 90 odd kilos down. So it's going to pay heavy.
My quads are sore but holding up okay, but my feet are really sore. So, but it's okay. Only sore feet.
No concerns.
But no concerns. No.
It's a pain that you can live with.
Yeah. Putting it in perspective, but you just I've just got to forget about it.
The body clock breaks down, goes to sleep, you know, those hours from 3 o'clock in the morning to 5, you know, they're horrible.
Yeah, I'd like to be going quicker, but firstly I'm struggling. Secondly, I'm not tiring myself out for the swim. And that's my quads and my feet that are stopping me. So I think it's actually beneficial because the swim's going to start at 2:30 Friday morning, whether I'm fast or slow. So.
Are you feeling down?
A little bit. It's a long time on your feet. The sun is nearly coming up and I'm hoping that'll pick my spirits up slightly. Obviously it'll be nice just to get to the end and I can start thinking about the swim now.
Well, one thing I'm surprised about is actually how cold it is at night. The frost does feel to have been settling a little bit. Will that make a difference with the swim?
I don't think it will make a difference with the swim because I'll be very mentally prepared. And the water temperature's, I think, about 17 at the moment, and you're mostly in the water, so yeah, it shouldn't be a problem for the swim when it comes round to that. But it's cold now, and I'm feeling it now. When the sun starts rising, it makes every single bit of difference. Suddenly all the negative feelings that you've got have gone. And that's it, you're happy that you can get to the end. It's as simple as that. That sun rises and you can finish. your core temperature drops while doing an ultra run. As you finish your 87-mile run, as it will be, your core temperature will be so much lower, and it stays lower for a day or so. So when you get in the water in what's going to be 16 to maybe 19 degrees in the channel, and swimming for 12 to maybe 15 hours, it's going to feel so much colder. Nice as it is to finish, that is only a third of it done. To have the forecast a week in advance to what we got today, which is less than 10 knot wind, and all day yesterday was low, it's forecast to be low today, is unheard of this year. Nobody has done the Arch to Arc without a wetsuit. They've always had the protection of a wetsuit to keep you warm. We all pray for perfect conditions, but the channel is a strange one. Although it's perfect now, we could get 4 hours in and it kicks up. So yeah, it's hard to know, hard to predict, and the only thing that I can do is get to the other side.
He's coming back in. You got to swim. You got time, Ed? 250. Yeah.
I like swimming at night. So peaceful, and it's like a meditational state, if I ever knew really what that was. And yeah, you're just so peaceful, and in between feeds, which is every 45 minutes, it can just get to a state where you're just swimming and you don't really know where you are, and suddenly half hour's gone, 40 minutes gone, and you didn't know how you got there.
To put on the lanolin or lanolin and Vaseline, or I mean, when I had a go, I put on it's a lanolin base, but it's got antiseptic in it, a pink cream that they use on the cow's udders. You know, I mean, so I mean, we all have our own thing. The boat, it's steering its course, and Mark just stays a certain distance from the boat and follows it, no matter where it goes. Everybody's obviously a little bit different, but generally you'll have a couple of bad patches and you deal with those the best way you can. Even if he doesn't show them, he'll be dealing with them at some stage.
Having a bad patch on land is one thing, but I can't imagine having a bad patch floating about in there.
No, absolutely, and that's one thing you cannot do, is float around in there. What you have to do is deal with it as you're moving. Everything has to be moving because it's all relative to the tide, and if you keep consistency, the skipper can keep to the courses. If you stop and floating around, then the tide takes control.
Swimming, you obviously can't just stop. When you're on the run and the bike, you can stop, have a sit down, but when you're in the channel, because of the ebb and the flow of the tide, if you stop, you can be dragged in the wrong direction. So every point in the 12 to 15 hours, you need to be swimming in a certain way, and your only feed is a cup of Gatorade or a mini Mars bar, and you're stopped for 20 seconds at a time. It's the only rest. The movement of the water in the sea is unique. It's not like a river, not like a lake, not like a swimming pool. It's difficult, but you have to let your body roll with the water. And people take in seawater, they swallow it, they breathe in the spray. That's a common problem. But you have to spend time in seawater, swimming, preferably cold seawater, and you learn to be like a twig, floating around in the water. So you're moving in the right direction, but you're allowing the water to push you around. And as long as you can allow it to push you around, you are actually very comfortable in the water and can go where you need to go.
feeling the pinch now, but he won't give in anyway.
Is it a good idea to look at the horizon and see France, or is that better to not do that?
Advocate no. If a swimmer starts looking forward for the coast or looking back to see how far they've gone, that's a slippery slope.
Is it?
Yeah, it's not a good one.
So what does that do to you?
It's just crushing because it never comes any nearer. You could be looking at it for hours and hours and hours, and it doesn't help at all.
Well done!
Hey! So I've now just broke my vow of no alcohol till we get to Paris because they've just given me a glass of bubbly.
Oh wow!
So we're on our way from Cap Grenade, where we've just finished the swim, and we're on the way to Calais to get off the boat, meet up with a support vehicle, and get on the bike and cycle 181 miles to Paris.
I can see my record now is more or less 99% gone. Mark Husty said, I guess it's not this hilly all the way. I didn't really have much time to reassure him. I just said, no mate, no, it's not honest.
Very strange cycling in the middle of the night on the wrong side of the road. Apart from that, the roads are lovely. But yeah, same as I have said for 3 days, just plugging away.
It's quite shocking, that, isn't it? Same as I've been saying for 3 days.
Yeah.
It was a long, hard night for him. He had a cracking swim and had a very short break between the swim and the bike, but it caught up with him quite quickly. So we gave him a power nap of 30 minutes or so. He seemed to revive quite well, so we set off again, but relatively quickly he needed another one, so we gave him 20 minutes. That didn't work, so we were creeping into the hours when the body clock shuts down anyway, so I advised that he just crashes completely. So we left him there for an hour and a half, got him up, 45 minutes before the break of day. So he rode into the break of day and he's been bubbling ever since as the sun comes up.
I really don't remember what happened in the night. As you reminded me, we were on the coast and yeah, I don't remember.
The closer to Paris we get, the logistics become an absolute nightmare. We're going to join the main flow of traffic now. Okay. Just stay with the vehicle all the time.
Well done, son. How are you feeling?
Yeah, very good. Well, I would do now with the length of the Champs-Élysées to go.
Thanks for getting around here. Well, Mark, you are the new world record holder.
It's just going through my mind, that as well.